Hello everyone. So today I would like to share some advice that I have given to some of my NFP friends that I think might help some of you if you guys are watching this and you're an INFP or an ENFP. For those of you who don't know, I'm Meghan LeVota and I'm an ENFJ, so I am coming at this from an ENFJ perspective with FE and NI. But what I have noticed about INFP and ENFPs is this sort of problem that you guys can deal with that manifests due to poor extroverted sensing. Now, if you don't know, extroverted sensing is objective sensing. You can think of it as the shared perception. So as opposed to your introverted sensing, which would be, right now I feel cold. Extroverted sensing would be something that we can all see that is not dependent on your body as a subject. Both sensing, introverted sensing and extroverted sensing, are about, your physical senses, your common five senses that you all know and love. But extroverted sensing focuses on the objective, breadth of sensing, not the depth of sensing. So whenever you don't have extroverted sensing as a highly valued function, that can make you kind of aloof and kind of living in your own little world. INFPs and ENFPs might relate more to their personal senses than the senses that we all share as humans. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm trying to think about how I can explain that a little bit better. Pretty much the senses that happen outside of you or inside of you is another way of looking at it. INFPs and ENFPs can sort of cling onto their own personal experiences that were sensory, that were physical, that have not happened to everyone. It's subjective. It's your personal experience. It's not an experience that we all see, such as the sun coming up in the morning every day. Something more general, something more vague, yet objective would be extroverted sensing. So, because INFPs and ENFPs don't value extroverted sensing, and you use extroverted intuition, you guys aren't the sort of people to really try and directly change the experiences that are happening to you right now, because you can either be held back by your personal experiences or think that those things are going to happen again, or be too stuck in NE land of trying to wrap your brain around things rather than directly getting in there in the extroverted sensing world and making a move or seeing for yourself or being direct, just getting in there with the sensory world, hands on, get your hands dirty. Those are things that INFPs and ENFPs struggle with. And so what I've noticed has happened with my NFP friends is that you guys will have desires like, maybe I should write a song. Maybe I should write a poem. Maybe I should reach out to so-and-so. And sometimes you guys wait until the time is right. You'll be like, I'll do that when the time's right. I'll do that when I feel like it. And the thing is that sometimes those things will come up and the opportunity will arise. NFPs prefer to wait for the opportunity to come to them rather than grabbing those opportunities, seizing them. A lot of people correlate extroverted sensing with opportunism. And NFPs are not very opportunistic in that way. You might have hope, you might have faith in your heart that things will work out, but the opportunity could be right in front of your face and you might not even grab it. And that's sort of the NFP way. Or the opportunity is not in your face now, and so you wait for it to be in your face because you don't want to get your hands dirty in the extroverted sensing. You don't want to try to put that effort out there when You would rather use NE to be clever and sneaky and orchestrate a way for something to happen just with your mind. I don't know if that makes sense, but NFPs would rather spend hours thinking about a way to make something easier than to just do it and get it out of the way. And this could be a form of procrastination, but also at the same time, this sort of mental intuitive labor, as my ENFP friend Crystal calls it, is more natural to an NFP. But pretty much what I've noticed happens is because of your bad extroverted sensing. Sorry for the long intro, but I wanted to make sure we were all on the same page of what this extroverted sensing is and what a lack of it can do. Is without it, the world can literally pass you by in so many ways if you are afraid to go in there and grab what you desire, grab what's rightfully yours, tell that person that you love them, tell your mom you miss them, tell that person you're sorry, like quit your job and start to work as an entrepreneur, or start to be an artist, or like put your art out there, or, you know, put yourself out there, join a dating app, you know, like things like that, that is completely out of an NFP's comfort zone. And I want to say every NFP has their own comfort zone because it's all based on your subjective introverted sensing experience. For those of you who have been on dating apps a lot, maybe joining a dating app wouldn't be out of your comfort zone. For someone who hasn't dated in a long time, that would be tremendously out of your comfort zone. Some of you guys have been, you know, working as an artist for a long time, and so putting your art out there is not out of your comfort zone. And pretty much this bad extroverted sensing makes NFPs have a hard time getting out of their comfort zone as much as they want to be different and to put themselves out there. And so it's this sort of disconnect of you want to be super special and do great things, but you also don't want to leave your comfort zone. And so your NE will spend all day figuring out, how can I get what I want without leaving my comfort zone? And a lot of you guys are super creative about this, and you're able to do this and successfully somehow get what you want without even leaving your comfort zone at the same time, because you guys are really good at like killing two birds with one stone, or like just, I don't know. I feel like you guys are really sneaky. I don't know, at least from my perspective. But pretty much, if life keeps passing you by, there are going to be a few things in your life that no matter what, you're going to keep desiring it, no matter what. You can't let it pass you by because it's in your soul, it's ingrained in your heart, in your FI. There are a few things that you desire, INFP or ENFP, that no matter what, you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone to get it. And you're going to drive yourself crazy unless you somehow do. And it's going to get harder and harder, and the fear is going to build up and up until you do it. And let me give some examples of this. So, a lot of you NFPs watching this might think that normally if you have a desire and then you think, I'll do it whenever the time's right, or I'll do it whenever the opportunity arises. A lot of times that opportunity arises and it's no big deal. But what about the things that don't show up? What about the things that never show up by accident? What about those things that are just so out of your comfort zone that they aren't going to show up and that you have to take an action to do? Some of those things you don't care about it enough, and your desire will fade. In fact, most of those things, your desire will probably just fade. A lot of you NFPs have probably grown apart with many friends or family members or acquaintances because the opportunity to hang out with them just stopped showing up, and you have no hard feelings towards them. You just don't see the opportunity anymore. And you don't want to put yourself out there out of your comfort zone to try and reconnect or anything like that because it's just difficult. I mean, you just don't have a strong enough desire. But there are these things in life, and I think that every single person, no matter what personality type you are, you have these core desires that is just a blueprint of your heart that no matter what, you're going to want. Whether it's there, whether it's not there. These are just hard pressed in our DNA. Some of you guys, that might be something like music. You're supposed to be doing it. You feel you're supposed to be doing it, no matter what. Whether you have music in your life or you don't, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the opportunity is there or if it's not. Your heart wants music and you feel it, and then that's it. Or maybe this is a specific person that you value very deeply in your life, and maybe the opportunity has gone away, but you still feel them in your heart. Or maybe this is a certain job. Or maybe this is the desire to have children. Or maybe this is the desire to volunteer at a specific charity that you feel called to. Maybe you're meant to be a leader. Maybe you're meant to be a graphic designer. Maybe you're meant to be an athlete of some sort. Maybe there's a dream in your heart that you were meant to pursue. And when I say meant, a lot of you guys might be thinking like, well, I don't really believe in destiny in that way. You know, I'm super like into free will and like things change and stuff like that. That's fine. But I guess my argument is that we all have things in our heart that we're just going to want no matter what. And what I think happens, now here's my point. What I think happens is that with NFPs, if you become so used to waiting for the opportunities to hit you, then there's going to become a time when your heart is going to pretty much set on fire. If you ignore those desires and if those opportunities don't come up, you're going to experience like inner turmoil, torture. It's going to feel like absolute torture because you, as an INFP or ENFP, you can't turn those feelings off. Some of us can, and whether we should or shouldn't is a completely different story. But some of us, some personalities out there, they numb themselves. They don't sweat it. They just numb themselves. They ignore their heart that's burning on fire. I have never met an INFP or an ENFP who could ignore that. They might look fine on the outside, but they're screaming on the inside. Because there's something that they love, something that they desire that's not there, and they're afraid to go after it because they are afraid of extroverted sensing. You're afraid of reality. You're afraid of getting outside of your comfort zone. And if you don't have personal SI experience in something, then you don't trust what reality can bring. You don't trust that reality is fair and all of that. You don't trust that you might not even know if it's possible. And normally you guys are so big on possibilities, but there's always that thing that you love, that you desire, that because you love it and desire it, your FI biases your NE, and then your NE is so focused on the negative possibilities to try and keep you safe that you have completely forgotten about all of the positive possibilities. So remember that your FI is a tool that can be used for empowerment or disempowerment. You can use that FI to highlight the positive possibilities with your NE, or when you aren't looking, it can easily bias you with all of the negative possibilities. I have a friend who is an NFP who has been hung up over the same guy for 3 years, and her feelings haven't gone away. She hasn't said anything, really. I mean, I guess to some extent she has. She's not been direct. She's not taken a risk because she doesn't want to leave her comfort zone. And possibilities are more or less probable as time goes on. Not all possibilities are created equal. That's why SE and NI users are so opportunistic, because we seize the moment as it's there. And if you wait too long, that opportunity might be gone, and then you might have to wait for, or you might have to, it might be even harder to sort of go back around again. So pretty much what I've noticed is that with NFPs, there's always one area of life where the world has to bully them into action, because you don't want to take action, because you love the thing so much that by nature of loving it, you also are just as afraid and scared of all of the things that could go wrong. And you aren't thinking of it logically. And that's okay, because that fuel of FI is unmatched. For those people who do look at art logically, they might be more successful, but I believe that the NFPs who face their fear and put their art or whatever you want into the world, whatever they create, is some of the most powerful expressions that exist. The hard part is facing your fear, taking action, and just doing it. You just have to do it, is the thing. You can't wait for the world to do it for you, and I know that you have probably had people tell you that your entire life. But what I'm here to tell you is not just to do it, but that if you don't do it, your heart won't ever shut up about it. And the world is going to bully you into action. You're going to be triggered over and over again by either people that are a reminder of that burning sensation, situations, even things that have nothing to do with you, even things like a world event that you see on the news could remind you. You are going to be bombarded with reminders from the universe, from God, if you believe in God, from reality, for the rest of your life until you take action. And if you take action sooner rather than later, then you're going to be able to avoid that torture. If you know in your heart that you're supposed to be an artist, you're going to die knowing that you're an artist. That's not going to go away. You aren't going to trick yourself into thinking that you can live a life without your art, without what you love and desire. If anything, it's going to get more and more intense the farther you get away from it. And if you can learn to be brave now, you can avoid a lot of inner turmoil later. I very, very firmly believe that, and I've seen the same dynamic happen with my NFP friends time and time again. Like a friend of mine who's pursued theater, I guarantee you it's like the more time goes on that she's not doing theater after a degree in theater, that's not going to go away. And she even told me, an INFP friend of mine who got a degree in theater, that she was going to force herself to apply herself now, because failure now would feel better than the life of pain and regret for not trying. And NFPs aren't as long-term focused as NFJs. And so when you're brave now, as scary as it is, you have to remember that you are doing future you a favor. You are you're preventing future you from a life of pain, a life of denying your desire. And a lot of people think that it's only extroverted feelers that ignore their inner purpose or authenticity or whatever and just do what other people say. NFPs, you guys can be total people pleasers. And it's because of this fear of extroverted sensing that you have. You don't want to be too much. You don't want to make a scene. You don't want to be too direct. You don't want to fail. You aren't prepared for that. But life will never prepare you for that. There is really no alternative. You either are brave or you are reminded time and time again of what's in your heart. What's in your heart, that's there to stay. And I hope, and I give you all the courage, and I'm sending you all my warmest wishes to choose whatever is in your heart right now, because that's powerful. And I, as an ENFJ, I'm kind of jealous of it, honestly. I wish I had FI sometimes. I know it could be scary because you very much attach to what you desire as something personal. But that personal feeling, that can change the world if you express it. And I can't promise you that when you are brave, that the outcome is going to be exactly what you want, but I can promise you that if you continue to choose what's in your heart now and act brave now, you will feel so much happier than if you ignore it due to fear, and then you are bullied by the universe your entire life. Because the universe wants you to choose your heart. The universe wants you to be one with that desire and to create that desire to breathe it into life. The universe wants that, and that's why they keep bullying you. It's not to torment you. It's not because they're out to get you. It's not because you were born a mistake or a flaw. It's not because they're teasing you. I know a lot of you guys think that like God or the angels or whatever you believe is just literally teasing you by showing you other people that have what you want or whatever. It's just a reminder to get you to choose, because it wants you. I want you to breathe what you have into life, because you feel it for a reason and the world needs it. You wouldn't be feeling that intensely if it didn't matter. So anyway, hopefully you guys can reflect on that. Hopefully that made sense. And I thank you all for watching. If you would like to work with me one-on-one for coaching, I am kind of in the middle of updating some of my options. I have one-on-one sessions where we can talk about your personality type and the cognitive functions and sort of apply it to your life, along with like life lessons and stuff like that. So we can just, if you want a time to chat about the cognitive functions, to talk to me, all that information is below. I'm also looking at the opportunity of doing a sort of cheaper thing where it's just voice chat back and forth. If you guys would be interested in something like that, let me know, because that's something I'm building right now. So even if you're interested in that, fill out the Google form below or comment to let me know if you're interested, and I can reach out to you. Also join my Facebook group, Personality Typology for Self-Growth, which is linked below, and have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm rooting for you.